G'day, this is Vytis on Dueling Network, just doing a deck profile on Darkworlds, more of a, I'd say, control Darkworlds rather than just the Reckless Greed version. So I'll just get started. Obviously just the search engine, which is the 3 snows, which probably should be nerfed, but they're not at the moment, which is really good for Darkworlds. Obviously they just search out the Grapers, which is the boss card of the deck, which obviously if people know Darkworlds, I don't have to elaborate too much on it. Pop a card when discarded, so yeah, GG. The search engine of the card and the draw engine, I'd rather say, which is obviously Bro. Discard, draw 1, then draw 1 again with obviously gates, which we'll go into that a little bit later. So that's it, over there. More of the 5 monsters, which is used more with gates and Darkworld dealings. If you top deck them and stuff like that, it's not very good unless you've obviously got the gates, I'd say, or even the Darkworld dealing or something to even discard. But it can be a good card, can be a bad card. Usually more of a good card with this build anyway. So obviously got 2 golds, 1 silver, just because I like the sparkly ones. That's why I've got these ones at the moment. Not really used for too much of the second effect unless your opponent's obviously got something to make you discard. But just a good boss monster, 26 speeder with gates on the field. So that's what it does. Other builds like to run 2 of these. I tend to run 1. Obviously I run 3 of the boss monsters because I like to win a lot earlier. And obviously spam out Grafer. This guy's good with spamming Grafer. Obviously if you got the morphing jar or whatnot, to obviously get him out quick as possible, then quickly sweep up Grafer, normal summon, get another one on the field. Yeah, he's pretty good for that. Trance Archfiend, he's bit of a tech card. He basically gets back your banished monsters. Really good if you want to know more about him. Check him out. Obviously he can normal summon him. He can discard a fiend type, which allows you to add more shit, or even obviously pop something with Grafer, or just get everything started, which is really good. Also he's a bit of a plus card, so I like him. Even if you just normal summon, use like a card like a Lure of Darkness, banish a snow, set some cards end turn, you know you're going to get him back for a plus. So only 2 of him. He can become a dead card at points if you don't obviously get a good hand. So 2s are good for that. Tour guide, enough said. At 2 now with the new ban list, but still really good. In bad hands, you can go normal summon, get Bro out, bloody drop with Foolish Burial, Grafer, return to hand, got a 27 beater. You know, stuff like that, or even go to Zen main, Zen turn if you're not too sure what your opponent's running. So really good for that. Sangan, enough said with him. Searches out the tour guide, searches out the Bro for the search power. He's just one of the main searches in the deck. You can get to him pretty easy. So everyone knows what he does. That's what he does. Morphing Jar, I didn't run him for a while. It's a bit of a weird card not to run in Darkworlds, but with the new ban list I took out a tour guide for him. Because I ran more of a control Darkworlds, I didn't want my opponent to have a fresh hand, but in this sort of meta, it's not really a bad thing if you can OTK with a Morphing Jar combination. So he's really good, limited to 1 for a very good reason. Now onto the spells. I'll start off with more of the, as you say, the Darkworld side, then a bit more of a tech cards for other decks and whatnot. So see, people like to run 3 of these, only run 2 because he's a control deck. So Drag Down in the Grave running at 2, people run 3. I personally don't like that build. You can get inconsistent hands, but yeah, you'll see later why I only run 2 of these. So yeah, 2 Drag Downs. Obviously look at your opponent's hand, you look at your hand, you can manipulate yours, set some cards, obviously make them discard what you want to discard, get rid of their BLS or their Heavy Storm if you're a bit scared of that. So yeah, pretty good card. They've gone up in a lot in value because of the new ban list too. They're about 10 bucks each. So I picked them up when they were 3, when this deck wasn't really as good, but now it is. So yeah. Some people like to run 2 of these and 3 Drag Downs, but I do run 3 Darkworld dealings. It is such an amazing card. It's not funny. It can turn a shit hand into a good one. So I got 1 ultimate. I do want to get a couple more ultimates, but it's not my price range at the moment. So yeah, 3 Darkworld dealings. Draw 1, discard 1. Brilliance. One of the main cards in the deck, just the field card, the Gates of Darkworld. Just makes the deck so much better. You can draw, discard, you can spam, you can just keep plussing. That's just the main bit of the card. Running 2 is not an option. Some people like to run 2 for some reason. I think they're dickheads, to be honest. So 3 of them, and that is that. Card destruction, I don't have to say anything with that. That just makes this deck OTK standard with a handful of fiends. You drop them, you plus, you do everything you possibly can. This card is a must. If you don't run it, you shouldn't run Darkworlds. Monster Reborn, you can even go to a plus play with this. You just basically special summon a Darkworld from the graveyard, then return that to your hand, special summon Grafer, then do all your crazy shit with that snow that you've got Monster Reborn, add something else. So, must. 1 MST, a little bit of back row hate, it's pretty good. Some people like to run the other one that allows you to pop a card then discard a card. Because this is a control deck, it's a must in this version, so. Allure of Darkness just allows you to search what you need at what time. Also with Trance Archfiend, get back the card, bit of a plus plus plus, so brilliant. Foolish Burial, quick Grafer plays, so you want Grafer out as soon as possible in this deck, because Grafer is the one that honestly just makes you plus. You get to a 3-beater, you just keep poking at people while they're minusing. A lot of people don't actually run this card in this deck. In this deck, it's very, very good and it wins games. Enemy Controller is a brilliant card. There are so many situations where this card has just won me so many duels. Even if I had to use the first effect, we change it to defense position, it doesn't matter. Normal summon to a guy, get out Sangan, tribute Sangan, take control, which adds to hand. There's just so many good things that can happen off that. It's ridiculous. So I had to get that into gold, so I've got that. Heavy Storm. Some people don't like to run it and run an extra MST, but because it is a bit controlled, use the gates first, then destroy the whole back row and go for game. That's just basically the way I play it. Some people are stupid enough to play 3 face downs without running Starlight Road. Just does it. It's good. Now onto the traps. The only Darkworld trap I basically run is 1 Dark Smog. Any more can become a dead hand because you need your opponent's graveyard to be full of monsters before you can start using that card. So, you know, if you draw 2 in your first turn, you're not overly too happy. If you try to set 2 as, you know, 1 as, you know, people think is dead card or whatnot, the Heavy Storm, it's GG for you. So, it's minus off that. Torrential Tribute, it's brilliant with Grafers. The opponent tries to spam some cards, try to synchro summon into something. You pop everything on the field. Your turn, normal summon, return back. Grafers comes back again. Sorry, so it's good. 1 Solemn Warning. You don't want to overly use too many life points in this deck because sometimes you do have to take a bit of a beating to destroy your opponent in the next couple of turns. So that's just good for a first hand. So just 1 Solemn Warning there. Solemn Judgment. I know I said just before about losing life points or whatnot, but it is a game changer. And even if you top deck it later, it's brilliant. So 1 Skill Drain. I do side a lot more for decks that run a lot of monster abilities, but 1 Skill Drain's really, really good. Long story short, you just spam that Grafer play, all your effects activate in the graveyard. You don't want any more than 1 because you really want your effects to work out in case you draw that Tour God or whatnot, or even the Trance Archfiend, but it can stun your opponent if you just set it and they try to summon. So let's see. 1 Mirror Force, yes, it's at 2 at the moment in this deck, still in the run 1. It's a brilliant card. Obviously you can destroy up to 5 of your opponent's monsters, which is plus plus plus. Because I don't run basically the 3 Reckless versions, you run 1 Reckless because you're basically drawing into everything anyway. So and it's very good against chainable cards, obviously like an MST or whatnot. So you're going plus where your opponent's gone minus, and if you get in your first turn, it's pretty good. So, and that's that for obviously the deck. Now onto the extra. Don't really get to him too much, but just a Steel Swarm Roach. He's a bit of a fiend, so if you if you get rid of him, you can still banish him with gates and whatnot. So there's no hindering there. Don't get to him too much, but 2 of him. Obviously, he's a bit of a magic card, but Tyrus. So you get to him, he's just you know what he does, people. Adurius, he's a fiend as well. So pop a card you control, spam out some cards, you can go for that quick early game. Acid Golem, Just a nice little tour guide play in case you need to beat over something your opponent controls. Also works really good with skill drain. So enough said with wind up Zen mains. Just a bit of a stall motion. Pop, pop, pop. Utopia. Everyone knows what he does. Now he's pretty broken in this deck, this guy. You can go tour guide to tour guide, go to him, detach, then use gates immediately. So that's really, really good for a first hand. 2-5 beater, can't really complain with that. He makes this deck. At the moment I've only got one of him. I would like to run it at 2, but basically, yeah, he's a bit of a magic card levier, so long story short, you can go plus off tour guide plays, get your banished snow back, return it to hand, get Greyfar, use gates, drop, draw, add what you need at the time being. Massive draw power that can be used with him. A new card I found out with this deck that works really well. Heretic Sun Dragon, you go to Greyfar, go to 2, overlay, tribute, whatever's in your hand, you can clear cards with this deck, with this card, sorry, because it is a control version. You like to clear as much as possible, and you know, if you haven't even normal summoned in the turn you've got him out, if he lasts for longer than 1 turn, you can normal summon the Darkworld, get it back, tribute the Darkworld, and you haven't even gone minus. So it works really good. Only run him if I have Monster Reborn, obviously with Stardust and whatnot. So I don't run any tuners, but yeah, Monster Reborn can get him out or Catastar, same deal. Scrap Dragon, same deal. So so that's my basically Darkworld deck. I don't have a 15 card side deck that I want to show you guys, because that's honestly your opinion on what you think in the meta is good at the time. So, and that's it. This is Vytis out. If you'd like to see me on Dueling Network, add me as a friend. So that's it. That's my Darkworld deck. Thanks.